Hi children, how are you? Are you ready for the class? Let us begin the class with the chapter Cell, the Unit of Life. Let's start our class, the cell, the unit of life. You have learned about the cell in the lower classes. You know that the body of all living organism is made up of cell. All organisms start their life from a single cell. It divides and redivides many times to form tissues, organs, and organ systems. Every part of our body is made up of cell. It is the basic unit of life. It is the structural and functional unit of life. Cells vary in their size, number, and shape. You know, some of the cells are very small, such as bacterial cell, and some are big, such as nerve cells. You know that cells are microscopic. It can be seen only with the help of a microscope. You also learned that the cell theory and the discovery of the cell. So let us move on to the next topic. Basically, all the cells are alike, though they differ in their size, shape, and function. Here is the diagram of a generalized plant cell and animal cell. When we observe this diagram, we can see that almost all the structures are similar in both plant and animal cells. But there are some differences. The three important parts of a cell are plasma membrane or the cell membrane, cytoplasm, and the nucleus. Let us study one by one in detail. The first part is the cell membrane. The main characteristic of cell membrane are it is outermost in animal cells. It lies next to the cell wall in plant cells. It is very thin, flexible, and a living membrane. It possesses fine pores. It allows certain materials to pass through it, so it is known as semi-permeable. It is made up of a substance called lipoprotein. Its main functions are separate the content of the cell from the surroundings. It regulates the entry of certain solutes and ions. It maintains the shape of the cell in animal cells. It is present in both plant and animal cells. In addition to the plasma membrane, plant cells contain another layer outer to the plasma membrane, that is the cell wall. It is found only in the plant cell. It is made up of a non-living substance called the cellulose. It is a rigid layer and it is freely permeable. That means it allows all the materials to pass through it. Its main functions are it gives rigidity and shape to the plant cell, and it provides protection to the plant cell. It also gives a fixed shape to the plant cells. Animal cells have no fixed shape because it has no cell wall, but plant cells have a cell wall, so it has a definite shape. The next part of the cell is the cytoplasm. All the parts inside the cell membrane excluding the nucleus is called the cytoplasm. It is a semi-liquid and partly transparent. All the chemical reactions taking place in the cytoplasm. So it is known as the site of metabolic activities. It contains a mixture of water and soluble substances. The cytoplasm of the cell contains many living structures with definite structure and functions. These structures are called cell organelles. The important cell organelles in the cell are endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, ribosomes, lysosomes, centrosomes, and plastids. Endoplasmic reticulum is an irregular network of tubular double membrane. It connects the nuclear membrane with the cell membrane. It may be smooth or rough due to the attachment of ribosomes. Its main functions are it is a supportive framework of the cell, it is synthesis and transport of protein, etc. Next one is the mitochondria. It is found in both plant and animal cells. It varies in shapes but usually sausage-like. It's double. It is a double-walled structure. Its inner walls thrown into folds. These foldings are called cristae. Its functions are release of energy and synthesis of respiratory enzyme. Since it releases energy required by the cell, it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Actually, the respiration process taking place in the mitochondria of the cell. It releases energy by breaking down glucose. Golgi apparatus are the stacks of flattened membranes. These sacs supposed to be originated from the endoplasmic reticulum. It consists of tubules, vesicles and vacuoles. Though Golgi apparatus are present both in plant and animal cells, in plant cells they are known as dictyosomes. The main functions of Golgi apparatus are synthesis and secretion of enzymes and hormones. It also helps in the formation of acrosomes of the sperm. Next one is the ribosomes. They are small granules scattered or attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. Its main function is help in the protein synthesis. Lysosomes are the membranous sacs budded off from the Golgi bodies. They are the intracellular digestive centers. They contain 40 different enzymes. Its main function is destroy and digest the foreign substances. If there is any damaged cell or any part of the cell is damaged, then the lysosome digest or destroy the damaged parts. Because of this reason, lysosomes are called suicide bag of the cell. Next organelle is the centrosome. It is found only in animal cells. It is a clear area of cytoplasm close to the nucleus. It contains two centrioles made up of bundles of microfilaments. It is surrounded by aster rays. Its main function is initiate and regulate cell division. Form spindle fibers with the help of asters. Plastids are one of the most important organelle found in plant cells. They are oval, spherical and disc shaped. They contain the various pigments. They give color to the various parts of the plant. Depending upon the pigments present in the plastid, there are three types of plastids: leucoplast, chromoplast and chloroplast. Leucoplasts contain no pigments, so they are colorless. They are usually found in the colorless parts of the plant, such as the stem and the roots. Its main function is to store starch, as in potatoes. Next is the chromoplast. Chromoplasts give color to the various parts of the plant. They contain the colored pigments. There are different colored pigments are there. The yellow color is given by a pigment called xanthophyll, and the orange and red color is given by a pigment called carotene. These pigments are present in the chromoplast. These chromoplasts impart various colors to the various parts of the plant, such as fruit, flower, etc. Next is the chloroplast. From the name itself, it is very clear that it contains a green pigment called the chlorophyll. Its main function is trap solar energy for photosynthesis. Sometimes in the cytoplasm we can see some other pigments also, which are found dissolved in the cell sap, and they also impart the colors to the various parts of the plant. These pigments are called anthocyanin. They give blue, purple or violet colors to the fruit, flowers, etc. Cytoplasm of the cell contains some non-living substances also. They are called cell inclusions. The cell inclusions found in the cytoplasm are vacuoles and granules. Vacuoles are clear spaces with water. They are larger in size in plant cell, while fewer and smaller in animal cells. They are covered by a membrane called tonoplast. They contain a watery fluid called cell sap. The function of the vacuole is store water and other substances, food, pigments and water products, waste products, etc. They give turgidity to the cells. Granules are small particles that stores food for the cell. Next is the nucleus. It is the most important part of a cell. It is found both in plant and animal cells. It is the largest organelle. It is spherical in shape and found almost in the center of the cell. But in plant cells, they are found towards the periphery due to the presence of a prominent vacuole. Nucleus consists of a nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, chromatin fibers, and nucleolus. The covering membrane of the nucleus is called the nuclear membrane. It contains many pores to allow substances to enter and leave the nucleus. One end of the endoplasmic reticulum is connected to these pores to allow the materials to transport through it to the nucleus. In the nucleus, there is a dense material that is called nucleoplasm. This nucleoplasm contains a network of thread-like structures called the chromatin fibers. The chromatin fibers are made up of DNA threads. They condense to form the chromosomes that carry the hereditary information or genes. Chromosomes are present in the cell only during the cell division. They are visible only when a cell is dividing. The number of chromosomes is definite in each species. Every human body cell has 46 chromosomes. They occur in 23 pairs. These chromosomes contain the genes. Genes determine the characteristic of an organism and not the chromosomes. When we observe the number of chromosomes in different organisms, we can see that the lion, tiger and cat have the same number of chromosomes, that is 38. But we know that they have different characters. From that it is clear that the genes determine the character of an organism, not the chromosomes. The nucleoplasm of the cell contains one or two round bodies. They are called nucleolus. They produce ribosomes and participate in the protein synthesis. The functions of the nucleus. Nucleus is the most important part of the cell. It regulates and coordinates various life processes. It plays an important part in cell division. It contains the genes that determine the heredity of an organism. Some cells have a well-developed nuclear membrane. They are called eukaryotic cells. But very small organisms like a bacterial cell has no nuclear membrane. They are called prokaryotic cells. So depending on the presence of nuclear membrane, there are two types of cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. The cytoplasm along with the nucleus of the cell is called the protoplasm. It is the living substance of the cell. It has a very complex chemical composition. It is very difficult to identify the chemical composition of the protoplasm. It contains a large number of mineral elements. It remains alive only within the cell membrane. It ceases to be protoplasm only within the cell membrane. When we take out of the cell membrane, it become dead. So it is very impossible to make an accurate chemical analysis of the protoplasm because it ceases to be protoplasm as soon as it is removed from the organism. Next is the cellular activity. You know, cell is the structural and functional unit of life. All the activities in a living organism is the outcome of the cellular activity. Or we can say, whatever life processes taking place in a living body, it is due to the activity of a cell. There are many life processes taking place in the living body such as growth, repair, movement, circulation, respiration, etc. In the case of growth is the result of increase in the number of the cells. How the number of cells increased in a living body? By the cell division. So it is a result of cellular activity. Repair the worn out tissues. If any fracture or any tissues in our body is damaged, it can be repaired by the formation of new cells. These new cells are formed by the division of the cell. So division of the cell is an activity of the cell. Like that, movement, circulation, respiration, digestion, excretion, photosynthesis, transpiration, absorption. Like that, all the activities in the living body is the result of the cellular activity. It is very clearly given in the textbook. You go through that. The difference between plant cell and animal cell, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell, etc. are given in the textbook very clearly. Go through it, study well, draw the diagrams in the notebook. That's all for today. Thank you.